Welcome back, everyone, to Song by Song,
the Music Note Explorer.
We've got a great show lined up for you today.
What if a song could literally shake the earth?
You're not speaking metaphorically, are you? On May 7th of this year, 2025, that's exactly what happened. Metallica is playing a concert at Virginia Tech's Lane Stadium.
And when they launch into the opening notes of Enter Sandman, the entire crowd starts jumping in unison. The energy is so intense that it registers as a minor micro-seismic event. The media immediately dubs it the Metallica quake.
It's an incredible image, but it raises a fascinating question. How does a heavy metal song from 1991, a genre often seen as niche and aggressive, become so deeply embedded in mainstream culture that 30+ years later, it's a beloved college anthem capable of causing a legitimate tremor?
Exactly. This wasn't just a hit song, it was a tectonic shift, both for the band and for the entire music industry. It took Metallica from being kings of the metal underground to global superstars, and it redefined what heavy music could be. To understand that shift, you have to go back to 1990. Metallica is already a huge band within the metal scene. Their previous album, And Justice for All, was technically complex with epic, sprawling songs. But it had a particular sound.
Let's be blunt. You couldn't hear the bass. It was famous for it. The band was at a crossroads. They had pushed technical complexity about as far as it could go. They needed a new direction. And that direction arrived, as these things often do, in the middle of the night.
It's 2 or 3 in the morning, and guitarist Kirk Hammett is listening to Soundgarden's album Louder Than Love. He's inspired by this heavier, groovier, almost sludgy sound coming out of the Seattle grunge scene. And a riff comes to him.
And this is the key moment. He plays this riff for Lars Ulrich, the drummer and one of the band's core songwriters. Lars immediately recognizes its potential, but has a critical suggestion. He tells Kirk to modify it, play the first bar 3 times, and then the second bar once every 4th time. It creates this hypnotic, looping quality.
That small change is everything. It turns a cool riff into an unforgettable cyclical hook. It's simple, it's memorable, and it's heavy. The rest of the music for Enter Sandman reportedly came together in just a day or 2. It was a deliberate pivot away from complexity toward immediacy.
Lars Ulrich said that everything else in the song was derived from that main riff. It was the foundation for their entire new sound. They found their North Star for the album before they'd even really begun.
And to capture this new, simpler, more powerful sound, they brought in an outside producer for the first time, Bob Rock. He was known for working with bands like Motley Crue and Bon Jovi, acts known for huge, polished, radio-friendly hits.
This was a hugely controversial move for their hardcore fans, but Rock completely transformed their recording process. First, he had them play together in the studio, live. He wanted to capture the raw energy of their performance, not just piece it together track by track.
Then he builds what he called the wall of guitars. To make the riff feel absolutely massive, he had frontman James Hetfield record 3 separate rhythm guitar tracks. Think of it less like a single instrument and more like a guitar orchestra playing in perfect, heavy unison.
The attention to detail was obsessive. For the drums, they used 40 to 50 microphones to capture every single element of Lars's kit from multiple angles, giving the drums this incredible depth and intensity. And, crucially, Bob Rock made sure you could hear the bass. He brought the low-end frequencies forward, giving the album a weight and fullness that And Justice for All completely lacked.
That's a great way to put it. It's like they went from designing an intricate, complex machine to carving a monument out of a mountain. The previous albums were about dazzling you with their complexity. The Black Album, led by Sandman, was about overwhelming you with its sheer size and power.
The sound was there. The riff was undeniable. But there was one huge problem. The song was the first one written musically for the album, but it was the very last to get its lyrics.
James Hetfield was struggling, and his initial idea for the lyrics was dark, even for Metallica. The original lyrics were about crib death or SIDS and the complete destruction of a seemingly perfect family.
This is a critical turning point in the story. According to reports, Bob Rock and Lars Ulrich heard the initial lyrics and essentially staged an intervention. They told Hetfield that the music was too good, too universally powerful for lyrics that were so specific and grim. They pushed him to find a theme that was more psychological, more universal.
And that push led to a stroke of genius. Hetfield pivots. He takes the classic folklore of the Sandman, a figure who brings children sweet dreams, and he inverts it. In his version, the Sandman is a terrifying figure who brings nightmares. He later described the concept as a twisted lullaby, where an adult tells a child this disturbing version of the story, filling them with fear.
This was the strategic masterstroke. By shifting from a specific tragic event to a universal psychological fear, the fear of the dark, of nightmares, of what happens when you close your eyes, the song became infinitely more relatable. Everyone has had a bad dream. Not everyone can connect with the specific horror of SIDS.
It retained the darkness that was core to Metallica's brand, but it framed it in a way that could connect with a massive mainstream audience. It was heavy, it was menacing, but it was also about a shared human experience. They found a way to make fear accessible.
Absolutely. It's the difference between a documentary and a horror movie. One is about a specific factual tragedy, while the other taps into a primal fear that everyone understands. They chose to make the horror movie, and it became a blockbuster.
Enter Sandman is released on July 29, 1991, and the reaction is immediate and deeply divided. On one hand, you have the mainstream explosion. The song hits number 16 on the Billboard Hot 100, which was unheard of for a band this heavy. The Black Album debuts at number 1 and goes on to sell over 30 million copies worldwide.
For millions of people, this was their first introduction to heavy metal. The song was everywhere: MTV, the radio, sports events. It was the soundtrack to countless late-night drives, as one fan put it. It was a gateway drug for an entire generation of rock fans.
But on the other hand, you have the original fan base, the die-hard thrash metal purists. For them, this was the ultimate betrayal. The polished production, the shorter songs, the melodic hooks, they saw it as a blatant commercial move. The accusation of selling out was everywhere. Some circles even started using the phrase, "that's not metal," to dismiss anything that felt too popular or accessible.
It created a bitter rift in the metal community that in some ways still exists today. The band, for their part, saw it as evolution. Lars Ulrich described the creation of Enter Sandman as almost cosmic, a moment where everything just aligned. They felt they were simplifying to become more powerful, not watering themselves down.
And to add another layer of drama, this success also drew criticism from their peers. Dave Mustaine of Megadeth, who was famously fired from Metallica early on, has claimed for years that the Enter Sandman riff was lifted from a 1989 track by a band called XL. So not only were they fighting a battle over their identity, but the very origin of their biggest hit was being contested. But no matter the controversy, the song's legacy became undeniable. It transcended the music world and became a piece of cultural furniture. Which brings us back to Virginia Tech.
Right. How did that happen? Apparently, the tradition started back in 2000. The athletic department was looking for a new entrance anthem, and someone found Enter Sandman during a Napster session. It just clicked. Over 2 decades, it evolved from a simple pregame song into a core part of the school's identity, a unifying ritual for the entire community.
It reminds me of what we discussed with Dolly Parton's I Will Always Love You. A song is created with one intent, but once it's out in the world, the public gives it a new life, a new meaning. For Dolly, it was a professional farewell. For Whitney Houston, a global power ballad. For Metallica, it was a twisted lullaby. For Virginia Tech, it's an anthem of unity and intimidation.
That is such a great parallel. James Hetfield himself has marveled at how the song transformed into something so monumental. And when the band finally performed it at Lane Stadium this year, causing that Metallica quake, it was the ultimate culmination of that journey. The creators meeting the creation in its new home.
Ultimately, that's the song's true legacy. Corey Taylor of Slipknot famously called Enter Sandman our generation's Stairway to Heaven. It's a foundational text. It's a song so big it has surpassed 1.6 billion streams on Spotify alone.
It proved that heavy music could be artistically credible, intensely powerful, and a commercial juggernaut all at once. It legitimized metal in the eyes of the mainstream and kicked the door open for countless bands that followed. The debate over selling out almost misses the point. Metallica didn't just play the game, they changed the entire stadium.